Alright guys, ZFR back here again today, and we are back here with our preview for episode 4 of season 7 in The Walking Dead. Pretty much this episode is going to be named Service, and we all know what's happening. This time around we finally get to see Rick in the group again. We finally get to see them meet with Negan again. We get to see the aftermath of everything that has happened in episode 1 of this season. It's time to get down with this. I can't wait. So pretty much without further ado, let's get into this preview. Now before I start really quickly, once again, notice is late. I'm going to try to start getting these out way before the episode comes out. I'll even try to have my one for next week's episode up tomorrow. I'm going to try. No promises, but I'm going to try. Anyway, back to the preview. So, pretty much, in this video, freak, I just restart the video there. But, pretty much, in this episode, we know Negan's coming back to Alexandria. We know he's coming to collect his first offering from them, and we've gotten a couple of different previews with this. Like we've gotten one with Rosita getting ready to leave with Spencer, and Eugene being at the gate, kind of in a daze, and them asking him if he wants to go along and stuff. And there's some snippiness there that I want to talk about actually. Let's see. So I go into the Earth scene first, or talk about this. I'll go into the Earth scene first. But then we also have a scene that shows Negan coming up to the gate, and him making Rick open it again, and pretty much he's like, hey Rick, come out here and watch this, and Rick walks out and pretty much just watches Negan whack a walker, which a lot of people are saying is probably going to have a bigger meaning behind it later on. I'm not sure what everyone's talking about. I haven't heard anybody say what they're thinking specifically, but I think it might have something to do with the Holly stuff from later. I may be wrong on that, but I don't know. Like, some people are saying that him hitting that walker or making Rick watch him hit that is going to have a bigger meaning, deeper, or later on, I mean. Pretty much all I can think that comes to mind is the stuff with Holly in the comics, which is probably going to be for another character. And let me just say, I knew I was right about Sasha. I think it's going to be Sasha. I made a predictions video about that a while ago. Go find it. It should be in my Walking Dead playlist on the channel. It should be in there. Go find that video, because I did predict that was going to happen to Sasha, but like people were saying it could be Tara, now we have people saying it could be Rosita. I think it's still going to be Sasha. I just think that is something more like her character. Like, and I feel like at this point her character is just as complete as freaking what do you call him? I feel like her character is just as complete as Abraham's was, if not more. She was in the show longer than Abraham, so I feel like her character is pretty much complete. But anyway, going back, some of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I said that just now. But getting back to the main thing. So after Negan whacks this walker, the camera pans to the side and we can see all the saviors. And that's right, Daryl and Dwight are both there. And I'm going to talk about them in a second too. So pretty much going back to the first sneak peek we got with Spencer, Rosita, and Eugene. So when they pull up to the gate, it's important to notice, or it's important to remember, that Rosita and Spencer were kind of in a somewhat relationship before all that madness went down, like after Abraham broke up with her. Like, don't forget, time did pass between when Abraham broke up with her and when they kneeled before Negan for the first time. Like, so she did get with Spencer, or at least they don't have, it seems like they don't have a too serious relationship, but they are banging. Like, I'm just gonna be blunt with it. That's pretty much what it is. So it's important to remember that they're in that relationship, and when they roll up to the gate, Eugene's in his daze, because he pretty much just lost his best friend. Like, him and Abraham him had like a lot of crazy moments, you know, with him finding out he wasn't really a scientist and stuff, and them getting in that fight last season, you know, in the factory area, which is going to play a huge part coming up. But yeah, pretty much freaking Spencer asks Eugene if he wants to come out on the run to find supplies for Negan and stuff, and Eugene's like, no, I'm not really up for that. And not Sasha, but Rosita, she kind of snaps at him a little bit, like, and, you know, I kind of found this interesting. I don't know, it's kind of stuck out to me. She kind of snaps at him like, yeah, of course you would, and like kind of still giving him that cold shoulder, like, you're not a fighter like us, you know, like kind of still putting him below the main fighters in the group, which is kind of interesting. I feel like Eugene's proven himself. You know, he drove that RV off last season, expecting to, you know, have the saviors after him and stuff all by himself. He did that all alone. You know, he pretty much bit the White's junk off and kind of saved them in a way. Last season also, like, I mean, he's really been trying to prove himself, and like it was just kind of messed up to see I keep calling her Sasha for some reason, but to see Rosita kind of snap towards him like that. When, in case this is kind of spoiler territory, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but in the comics, Rosita and Eugene actually do end up together in a relationship because he actually did like her, and he admits that. But the thing about this is a lot of people are saying that it might not happen in the show, and I think there's a possibility of that because it just seems like Eugene hasn't really even been as interested in Rosita as he was in the comics. So there's a chance that might not happen. I still want it to because I felt like later on some stuff happens between the two of them that's really awesome and emotional. It's just some awesome story. So I want them to keep that around. But yeah, I don't know. It might not happen. It might change. But one thing's for sure, she's not gonna be with Spencer for long. But yeah, moving on. And plus, I wonder if they'll do that with Spencer, because with Spencer, somebody stole his girlfriend in the comics, but his girlfriend was a completely different person, was Andrea, who ended up with Rick. So I don't know, would they remix that with Rosita ending up with somebody else and kind of, you know, leaving him, because that led to his character doing some interesting stuff too, so we'll have to see about that. But yeah, pretty much, there's not much to talk about what's going to happen in the actual episode, because we really don't know besides the fact that Negan's coming to collect his stuff, you know, to collect what he wants. Now, I do think we're going to see a Carl Negan moment. I'm sorry, we need Carl Negan. I need Carl Negan. I want to see Carl stand up to Negan. I want to see him be a little jerk like he was in the comics to Negan. In the comics, I think he said something along the lines of, you better hurry up and run away before you find out how tough we really are, or something like that. And you know, I realize that that they're going to have to remix the stuff, especially with Carl and Negan a lot, simply because it's not going to fit like it did in the comics. Because in the comics, Carl was a lot younger than he is on the show. Like, I mean, in the comics at this point, Carl is still like, what, 9, 10? I think it's 10 in the comics. On the show, like, or in real life, like, Chandler Riggs is freaking 18 if I'm correct. So yeah, like, he's way older than he is in the comics. Like, Chandler Riggs right now, the age he is right now is how old he is like currently in the comics, like, or how old he's supposed to be way down the line in season 9, pretty much. That's how Chandler Riggs pretty much compares up to his age in the comics at the moment. So yeah, hopefully we still get to see that stuff, and who knows, we might still see Carl sneak off with Negan's convoy and go back to the sanctuary. I hope we see something like that. Especially since you know they're gonna have Daryl there. He's gonna be like, I said, go and try to save Daryl, try get him out, because you know there was that stuff with him last season right before they ran into the Saviors or got captured by them, where he was like, I'm never gonna let that happen to anybody again. And then Negan just comes and does it again. Of course Carl's pissed at Negan, plus he still has this ideal kind of that he doesn't want to see any of his friends get hurt. So I think we still might see that stuff from the comics between Carl and Negan. I think that'll be really cool. We also get to see Michonne doing some interesting stuff. It looks like she's really pissed off that Rick is going to be giving in to Negan, which they have to give that to somebody. So yeah, I think that's definitely what's happening with her, because in the comics, let's see, a lot of people were angry at Rick. I mean, the whole community was getting pissed with Rick because it seemed like he just wasn't doing anything with Negan, which that isn't the case, alright? I'm telling you right now, Rick has a plan, alright? I'm going to tell you that, but he's just keeping it to himself. You can't put on a good show of acting scared if everyone knows you're really not scared. You know, like, it's better just to have them think it and believe it so they'll act it better. Like, that's pretty much what's going on there with Rick. But yeah, don't worry about that. Rick is not giving in completely to Negan. He's just pretending at the moment. So, and he's doing a pretty good job, of course. And then there's some other cool stuff we might see this episode. Like, some people have been saying they really do think that freaking someone's going to die again in this episode. Because in the trailer you can actually see Rick with this terrified look, which I don't think really tells us anything. Like, you know, Negan just kind of gets under Rick's skin, and I didn't mean to say a terrified look. It's just kind of a look, like a different look, like almost pissed off, but something a little bit different. And you also can kind of see Michonne, it looks like she's crying a little bit in the trailer, so we don't know, like, Negan might kill somebody. I don't know. I think he could. I think it's important to let people know that Negan is really serious about all this. Negan did kill some Alexandrians in the comics, or just one mainly. And I know a lot of people think it's going to be the one person he kills in the comics when he comes to Alexandria, but I'm telling you, it's too early for that, and that's going to be kind of a major character in a way. But it's too early for that. I think that's going to be later this season when he comes back to Alexandria a second time. But yeah, I definitely think this episode, we're just going to have a lot of scratched out scenes where they do it a little bit differently, where they give us more in each scene, because this is a 90-minute episode, so we have an extra 30 minutes of awesomeness this time around, which is awesome. But yeah, other than that, I can't really think of too many other things they're going to do in this episode. I do feel like something else is going to happen, something big, something significant in this episode, but I just have no idea what it is yet. I think we're going to have to wait to find out. But anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think is going to happen in this episode. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to leave the comments down below. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, really help me out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help me out even more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. ZFR out, guys.